So then after Pearl Harbor, then your ship, what were you sent down to the South Pacific right after that? Is that right?
First of all, 3 days after the war started, we went out with the remnants of the fleet, just some cruisers and destroyers, looking for the Japanese. But I don't think they looked very hard because we didn't have much left, and we went out to fuel them. And then we hurried back to the States, and had 8 20-miller machine guns tacked on our deck, so we could defend ourselves. And then about January or something, we started going out to the task force, and we'd fuel them, and we fueled, and they'd be cruisers, destroyers, and maybe 2 aircraft carriers, and we fueled them. And when we were out there fueling them, we were the most important ship in the task force. They'd all protect us, you know. One time we got a torpedo across the bow, and we were fueling a Chicago, a heavy cruiser at the time, and I'll never forget the way they cut their lines and took off. They wanted to get the hell out of there. They didn't want to be around a tanker. Cut across their bow, and we started zigzagging, and then I don't know what happened after that. But anyway, the third time out there, I think it was, we got out there and we fueled the task force, the Hornet, no, not the Hornet, the Lexington and the Yorktown, and after we fueled them, the night of May something or another, second or third, the second I think, they told us all we had to take freshwater showers because we were taking saltwater showers because we didn't have enough freshwater making on evaporators, because they wanted, and put clean clothes on, and they wanted, we were going to, each Navy had contacted each other and hadn't started yet, and they want us to, in case of wounds, they wouldn't get infection as fast if you got clean body and clean clothes on. And we were a bunch of scared sailors, and we broke away from the task force. We went one direction, they went another, and next morning the Japanese saw us, and they thought we were an aircraft carrier, because we got this catwalk, and it could, from the sky, it looked like a, anyway, they sunk us, and they sunk the destroyer that was protecting us. And
was that the Sims?
Huh?
Was that the Sims?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was this in the Coral Sea then?
Coral Sea battle.
So this is in the Battle of the Coral Sea.
Yeah.
Okay.
We left the night before, and the next morning, and then they also sunk Lexington, and they damaged Yorktown.
Were these dive bombers, did you say, or were these
Dive bombers.
dive bombers? Okay.
Yeah, there was 24 of them that got us in the destroyer. We saved 110 out of 296 men. A lot of the men were transferred from other ships, and they were going to go back to Pearl to go to new construction and back to States. And the Sims, they had 252 men, and they saved 15, and 2 of them died on the way back to Australia. And we got beat bad. And
What was your experience after? What happened to you after
well,
the Neosho sunk?
I was down in the #1 magazine. At Pearl Harbor, I was up above, but I don't know if I got demoted or what, but I was down in #1 magazine with 2 other guys. And so I didn't see nothing. But I heard it over the JV phones. They were talking. Here comes three off our bow, or off our stern. And then we went
three airplanes or
3 airplanes.
yeah, dive bombers. Yeah.
There was 24 of them, and we were credited with 3 shot down and 4 probable. You know, they were still in the air. One of them was on flames and dove into our stack deck in the rear. Anyway, when you take a hit, if it was way back in the stern, which a lot of them were, or midship, you'd feel the ship would jar, but the closer they were. And the worst one was a near miss, where I was on the starboard side where I was standing, and the cork plaster come down and loud noise, and I went on one side and the guy on the other side went over there. And the guy that was on the phones, he was laughing. We scared. We were all scared. And then somebody yelled, "Are you guys still alive down there?" And I said, "Yes, we are, but I'm sure scared." And he laughed and he said, "So are we." Anyway, after a while, they left and we heard abandoned ship. And I went over the side and there was smoke coming up from the dive bomber that dove into us. And a friend of mine went first and I went second. And I didn't have a life jacket because someone stole it under my bunk before I got there. And I know who it was too. Oh, out there swimming and having a hard time and no life jacket. I thought, well, what the hell, I might as well end this. And I went down, I was going to drown myself. And then I thought, what the hell, I'll try. I come up and this guy says, "Hold on, Bill, hold on, I'll help you." And he swam and I held on his life jacket. And pretty soon a motor whaleboat come by and he picked me up. He picked up 40 guys we had in that whaleboat, 38-foot boat, and we stayed there circling around the ship and stayed there till next morning when we went back on the Neosho.
You went back on board the Neosho?
Yeah.
So it was still floating?
It was
still
floating and it was, starboard side was underwater.
Okay.
It had a list, 30 degree west list. And we all went back there, and for about 4 days we were working. We were going to try to get more lifeboats off and try to make it to Australia, which is about 500 miles away. And anyway, destroyer come and picked us up, and the ship was still doing good, didn't sink. Took 7 hits, and so the destroyer put us under with shell fire.
Were you sure it was an American destroyer when it was approaching?
Oh, I was scared shitless.
Really?
For the main thing, it was hot there. It was hot, H-O-T, and we were all working hard to try to make it back to get. We were going to try to get to Australia. We didn't know what happened, the battle or nothing. And we're working away on the lines trying to get this boat. We didn't have any power, block and tackle. We're trying to get this, and a plane come flying over us, and we didn't see it till it was over in here, and looked up, and here's the Australian Lockheed Hudson crew. And the rear gunner's got his machine gun. He's laughing, waving to us, and geez, that scared the hell out of us until we found out it was American. And then after that, a PBY come by and waved to us. And then after that come the destroyer, the Henley, to pick us up. And boy, were we glad to get to Australia. And then the payoff is we get back to the States and we get 15 days leave and 5 days traveling time, and I come home and I get sick with laryngitis. But anyway, we go back to the naval station in California, and they put me on a tanker, and they call it the U.S.S. Neosho after the first one. And I was on that for 13 months, and we had a crazy mad engineering officer that would come down every watch and chew everybody out. He was crazy. Anyway, the best thing that ever happened to me is when I got appendicitis on Liberty in Hollywood. I was going to watch a radio show, And after that, my duty was good.